Everybody, I've got a vlog style video today that follows on from last week's hardwood step stool project for the Essex Makers Official 3 Easy Pieces Challenge. I went out to Brentwood in Essex for the usual meetup. That's the last Saturday of the month at the Hardwood Offcuts shop, and thanks so much to proprietor Tim for hosting this every month. I went out for a coffee and a chat. I met some new friends, caught up with some old ones, and then we got to show what we'd made. And this is how it went.
Go in, twist it.
As you turn it?
You can go along.
Yeah. Can you?
Keep going, yeah. You go in, touch it, and as you turn and pull,
Right.
then you're creating that.
This is what I found. They say that you just stay straight on with these. Well, with the round, I'm starting to find myself turning with it, and it works really nicely.
Yeah, so you can come straight in,
Yeah.
or you can scrape slightly at the side. So you're coming like that.
That's what I've been doing, and they say it's not designed to do that. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what you do. You move with it, don't you? But I've started doing it with that and found myself naturally doing it, and it works perfect.
Do you know what?
I'm surprised you haven't tried to get into 3D printing.
I really want to, but I think you guys would crucify me if I started playing with one of those before I got the CNC up and running. So yeah, no, absolutely. There's so many things I've got.
One, the printers we sell, the guy makes it, he just released one like 360 quid.
Really?
It's like free parts, it comes pretty close. Yeah. And it's annoying because two of them, if you buy two of them the same price as one of ours, but two of them together print quicker than the one. We just bought three. No, we just released that, so if you bought four of them, it prints, you're like farm printing, like back print.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do think there's a.
So where is it in the other shop? Those pieces or what?
Yeah.
I'll put you down there.
I love CNC machines.
15 quid to Mr. Tim.
You're not going to enter?
No, I didn't even pick any timber because I didn't get it till.
No, we're running it again.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, we're going to run 3 easy pieces till the end of the year. Give everybody a chance.
Other people having a second go.
Yeah.
So you've got the CNCs, you can do something here. Yeah, that'd be good.
We're going to do it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Said like a true governor.
Stand a bit closer.
Idris? Okay.
So my name is Idris. I have an Instagram made by Idris, which you can see everything I make on there. So my project kind of started out of necessity. So I needed somewhere to put the plants that my girlfriend had collected in our flat. So there's a really nice kind of corner in the bay window, and I thought this kind of really nice, kind of Japanese-esque, quite architectural style frame with acrylic shelves would be nice because you can put all the plants everywhere and the light can still get to them. So I made that frame and I realised I had enough wood left over, and so I started making a book plough, which was essentially, before I knock it over, essentially a Moxon vice, and this, which has a sharp blade and then a little rebate which rides on this edge, you can just about see. As you kind of just push it backwards and forwards, it's used for kind of ploughing the edges of books to give them a really nice smooth finish. You're welcome to feel it afterwards. And so that was kind of my own little personal thing for myself. Whereas the other two, this one and as well as the chopping board, were for my girlfriend. It was her birthday. I was making her a chef's knife, which is here. You're welcome to have a look at it. Careful, it's sharp. As you can see, my hands have already suffered. I was making her a chef's knife, and I thought I've got enough offcuts of wood to really kind of jam together and make something pretty. So I made her a chopping board as well. So all three, so 3 bits of wood, 3 different projects. That's what it came out to. And I thought aesthetically I'd bring some plants along because it kind of looks empty without anything. So that's where I was at. This was essentially, what's the word? Procrastination. So I'm in my final term of uni, and I should really be focusing on my final project. But nah, you know, I enjoy this stuff. I'm really good at this stuff. So you know, this competition said, you know, make something. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'll make something. So I did. Here they are. I hope you like them.
Fantastic. Well done.
To those that I haven't spoken to, I'm Joe. I'm JLT Woodworking on Instagram. I'm a full-time carpenter doing things from timber buildings to bespoke projects like this. And I gave myself an hour every morning before I go to site to do this. So I had to do something where I could do little bits of it at a time and not spend too long and use the equipment that I've got that often has to go into the van to site again. So I didn't want to keep packing and unpacking stuff. So the first thing I did as soon as I got back was rip down the boards that I had, because the planer I've got is questionable. And so it wasn't man enough to deal with the size of the boards. So I thought if I rip it all down, I knew I wanted to do a laminated thing. I originally was going to do a skateboard, which I've done before, but then I thought I needed a computer desk. So this desk is made with a computer in mind, as a surfboard shape, which is what I wanted, and with the lines in it, which is my thing. I can put my laptop here and mouse on this end. Any cables and stuff trail out the fishtail of the surfboard. And then, yeah, I attach the legs by cutting some wedges, fixing through them, and then hardwood plugging them into the bottom. And then just went to it with a sander, really, and it's just got an oil finish. So it's just some Danish oil on it that's built up in about 2 or 3 coats and then buffed off to where it is now. But yeah, pretty happy with it. Can't wait to get it back to the workshop now.
Fantastic. In 3 legs it won't wobble either, which is good.
That's the idea, yeah. I only had enough wood on the oak bit to do 3.
3 legs, like a tripod, won't wobble.
I thought I was going to do it, either shorten it down, and then I might be able to do it. I was thinking of splining some together, but then 3 legs won't wobble, and my workshop floor is like the craters on the moon. So it makes sense to give it 3 legs, so it can stand wherever I put it. But yeah, that's it.
Fantastic.
Right, I'm Paul. Most of you probably already know me, Cunningham's Custom Creations and Essex Makers. This is my entry into the 3 Easy Pieces challenge. We had Tulip, Sapele and Idigbo, and it's kind of nostalgic. It takes me back to my childhood. It's a Super Mario question block. Not that much skill involved, just a lot of repetition. 40 by 40 blocks. Ran them through 40mm wide, turned them into tables all written down to 8mm, then beveled each edge, then cut them and individually beveled the end grain edges, took the 16 by 16 grid, glued it together, made the frame out of the leftover tulip, and these strange pointy things here are the feet. They were going to be this long, but I forgot half my geometry lessons and compound miters flummoxed me, so they kept getting shorter and shorter and shorter. In the end, that's what we ended up with. It wasn't what I set out to make. All I wanted was for this to hold itself up, to be self-supporting. So, ran a 20 by 20 groove in here, 30 degrees off 90, and then 10 degrees back, and it holds itself up. That's pretty much what it is. Finished it off with some hard wax oil and a bit of black bison paste wax. That's my project. Stick those on the front, same thing.
Okay, I'm Peter Millard. I run the 10 Minute Workshop YouTube channel. I'm mildly obsessed by Ikea's Bekvam step stool. If you're doing installs in people's houses, there isn't a single kitchen, no matter the size of the house, the price of the apartment, whatever it is, there isn't a single kitchen that I haven't been to that hasn't had one of these. They are kind of ubiquitous, and at £13, almost impossible to make for the money. I've got one in my kitchen. I bought this one just as a little project because I wanted to do something like it. But at 13 quid, you can't buy the wood to make one of these. £13 worth of my time doesn't get you very long, so I certainly can't make one in that time. But when you can buy a painted version of this for £14 as well. But when we had the £15 hardwood challenge, it made a nice 13, 14, 15 progression. So I decided to make one out of I think it's oak, sapele, and you reckoned it was Idigbo, didn't you, Paul? Yeah, he's nodding. So that's my basic attempt at it. It's all sort of lovingly hand dominoed together, so I'm not entirely sure how sturdy it will be. Sturdy enough for now, for the sort of use it's going to get. We had a few little niggles with the planer and thicknesser, which was brand new, came out of the box on Tuesday. Plain fine and then wooden thickness, but we managed to deal with that. Everything else was cut up with a track saw, and as I say, just dominoed and glued together, but I did cheat a little bit and screwed the top and the step on because it was too much of faff to calculate the angles to get the dominoes in there, but there we are. Ikea screws it together, so it seems to be perfectly fitting. I think that should be done in that way as well. So there we are, that's my little attempt at the 3-piece maker challenge, 3 easy pieces challenge. And my wife sort of, it was going to be a workshop stool, my wife said no, we're having that in the kitchen, so anyway, what can you say?
I was toying with it because they were nearly long enough. I wanted to do a laminated handle. I had enough bits left. But I've got a lovely handmade blacksmith from the States. From Bailey. They want any tools like that, hammers, axes, things like that. It goes all over the world. And my best mate is a blacksmith who trained with the master blacksmith here, and he got his hammer from him. And then he said to me, when you go self-employed, buy yourself one for, like to say you're doing it as a market.
And they are Joe and Idris. And it was quite close. Joe got 4 votes, Idris got 7. So congratulations.
Thank you,
Idris. Very impressive.
Thank you. Because obviously I probably had more time than everyone else.
We all had the exact same amount of time.
Yeah, but I was, avoiding uni. I have no real commitments other than my education.
You've got quantity and you've got quality, but you've got both there.
Thank you.
It's like, are you sure you only took 3 pieces?
Yeah, genuinely. I got worried about that. I sat there, I was like, are they gonna think I was like cheating something?
No, it's fantastic. You made loads of stuff there.
Appreciate that. Just shows how much you can make out of that small amount of wood, but because you filled all the negative space with glass, you've made it look like far more than some of these parts. It's
great.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It was good fun. I appreciate the fact that this was a thing I can get partake in, really.
So a great Saturday morning out all in all. If you are within striking distance of Brentwood, then do consider coming along for a coffee and a chat, swap notes with a few like-minded people, and maybe take part in the 3 easy pieces challenge. If nothing else, you get a lot of hardwood for 15 quid, and if like me you're relatively new to the whole tree meat thing, then it's a great way of getting your hands on some interesting species that you probably haven't worked with before. I came away with a nice piece of util, which I've never used. It's a bit like sapele, but with a much tighter grain. I've got a nice big chunk of Canadian cherry there, which I'm told machines up lovely. And I've got an incredibly dense, really heavy piece of oak. So yes, definitely look forward to having a play with those when I get a chance. And you could be having a play with some nice timber too, but only if you take part. Don't forget, last Saturday of the month at the Hardwood Offcuts shop in Brentwood, Essex. Thanks to Paul and Simon for the organisation. Thanks again to Tim for the venue. Well done everyone who takes part, and hopefully we'll see you at the next one. That's it for this week's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.